She loses her body.
June 24th, 2026. Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury met once again in the second game of an intense back-to-back matchup, and by this point, there was no hiding the growing tension between these two teams. What unfolded during the second quarter quickly became one of the biggest talking points in basketball, spreading across social media within minutes and igniting a wave of outrage from fans. Everywhere you looked, people were demanding the same thing, that Alyssa Thomas should face serious disciplinary action. Here's how the play unfolded. A little more than 3 minutes into the second quarter, Caitlin Clark attacked the basket but lost her footing after getting tangled with teammate Lexi Hull's foot. She fell to the floor, the ball came loose, and the possession was effectively over. But the sequence didn't end there.
What I would love Caitlin to do is get up one time and then just slap the out of her.
While countless people weighed in on the incident, one reaction stood above the rest. NBA Hall of Famer Reggie Miller. Few voices carry more credibility when it comes to physical basketball. Miller competed through the hard-nosed, bruising style of the 1990s NBA, so he knows the difference between aggressive competition and a play that goes too far. Having spent time working alongside Caitlin Clark during NBC's Basketball Night in America coverage earlier in the season, Miller didn't hesitate to share his opinion. He described the play as dangerous and made it clear that, in his view, a player who was already on the floor and no longer involved in the action should never have been put in that position. He also questioned both Alyssa Thomas's actions and the officiating, arguing that situations like this deserve closer attention from league officials. As soon as the replay spread across social media, the conversation exploded. Fans flooded platforms with criticism of the officiating, with many arguing that the league has to do a better job protecting its players before someone gets seriously injured. One post on X summed up that frustration by claiming the officiating has become increasingly inconsistent and warning that if those issues aren't addressed, one of the league's biggest stars could eventually suffer a significant injury. Other reactions were even stronger. Some fans sharply criticized Alyssa Thomas, while others argued that the league should review the play and consider additional discipline. The incident quickly became one of the most debated topics in women's basketball, with opinions pouring in from every corner of the sports world.
About it, y'all. I mean, we're dealing with imperfect people. And when you look at it, they don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing they flying private planes now. They went flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. See, she remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Yes.
He changed the paycheck.
The criticism kept pouring in, and many fans were especially frustrated with the officiating. Then came a comment that captured just how frustrated many supporters had become. One fan argued that if the league failed to review the play or impose any punishment, Caitlin Clark should seriously consider taking her career elsewhere. Whether people agreed with that opinion or not, it reflected the growing belief among some fans that the league must do more to protect one of its biggest stars. Media personalities quickly joined the conversation as well. Outkick's John Root criticized the situation, arguing that the WNBA cannot afford to have its most recognizable player repeatedly involved in controversial incidents without meaningful action. He said Clark deserves better protection from the league. And it wasn't just fans or social media users voicing those concerns. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy also weighed in, questioning how the play was allowed to unfold without stronger consequences. He argued that the league should review the sequence carefully, emphasizing that player safety has to remain a priority while also preventing future controversies from overshadowing the game itself. Former WNBA player Stacey Dales was equally critical. She described the contact as completely unnecessary and urged the league to examine the incident, saying there was no basketball reason for what happened after the play had effectively ended. To make matters even more significant, Clark did not return to the game afterward, adding another layer to an incident that had already become one of the most talked about moments of the season.
Aware of what happened 2 nights ago? And that still happens?
What?
Absolutely unacceptable.
No, she didn't, dude.
Absolutely
she just
unacceptable.
Cursed?
And the reckless closeout that they actually reviewed, and the foot still comes down on top of the defender's foot that wasn't upgraded? Absolutely disrespectful.
The biggest story of the night wasn't just the controversy. It was the fact that Caitlin Clark never returned to the floor. After exiting during the third quarter with what the team later described as a back injury, the Indiana Fever officially announced that Clark would not re-enter the game. Whether or not the earlier contact contributed to that injury immediately became one of the biggest questions surrounding the matchup. We've been critical of Stephanie White on this channel before. We've questioned coaching decisions, rotations, late-game management, and challenges throughout the season. But after this game, her focus wasn't on strategy, it was on what she believed was a major officiating failure. Speaking to reporters after the game, White didn't hide her frustration. She said she had only seen the replay after the fact and couldn't say whether the incident directly affected Clark's health, but she described the contact as completely unacceptable. White also revealed that she raised the issue with officials during halftime, yet believed the game continued to be called inconsistently after the break. She also pointed to another reviewed play later in the game, saying she struggled to understand how officials looked at the replay and still decided not to upgrade the foul. To White, that raised even more questions about the review process itself. Her strongest message came near the end of the press conference. White argued that one of the league's brightest stars had been involved in multiple unnecessary collisions during the game that, in her opinion, deserved stronger officiating responses. She repeated that the overall handling of those plays was unacceptable and said the league has a responsibility to better protect its players. The timing made the controversy even bigger. Just 2 days earlier, these same teams had already played one of the most heated games of the season, featuring 6 technical fouls and 1 ejection, before Indiana earned an 86-77 victory. Everyone knew emotions would be running high heading into the rematch, making the officiating crew's decisions even more heavily scrutinized. As the game unfolded, every disputed moment added fuel to the growing debate. Fans, analysts, and media members questioned whether enough was being done to control the physicality before someone eventually got hurt. The spotlight also remained firmly on Alyssa Thomas. Regardless of opinions about her style of play or her accomplishments, the sequence sparked widespread debate over where the line should be drawn between physical basketball and unnecessary contact after a play has effectively ended. Now attention turns to the WNBA. Will the league review the incident? Will any additional discipline follow? Or will the on-court ruling remain unchanged? Those decisions are likely to shape the conversation well beyond this single matchup. If you want updates on every league decision, player reaction, and breaking developments surrounding this story, make sure to subscribe, because we'll continue covering every major angle as more information becomes available. And now we want to hear from you. Do you think the WNBA should take further action against Alyssa Thomas? If so, what would be an appropriate penalty? And do you believe the league's officiating has done enough to protect Caitlin Clark throughout the season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.